A Truly Beautiful Mind by Christopher Nee. The movie A Beautiful Mind is about a mathematician who suffers from a disability called schizophrenia. And although he is one of the greatest mathematicians of the century, his disability limits him. John Nash, the main character of the movie, has vivid hallucinations that sometimes help him and harm him. He creates an imaginary best friend, but later the hallucinations turn for the worse. However, he in turn has inspired many of his classmates, his wife, and his students to not give up on whatever they do. My cousin David, like John Nash, has inspired me to decide the career choice I have now. David was the brother I never had. He has always been one of the smartest and hardest working cousins on my mother's side. David went to medical school for 10 years. He was studying to become an ear doctor, and the amount of stress he had was immense. I've looked up to my cousin because of how hard he works in school and how he has been educating me throughout my life. Whether it was learning history using Lego figures to demonstrate wars, or learning about the solar system using colored styrofoam balls. Unfortunately, the day came when my mom told me that David had schizophrenia and that he would see hallucinations that were trying to kill him. I first found out from my mom, who retold the story from my aunt's position. She had first learned David had schizophrenia when driving around Chicago. David had suddenly gotten out of the car and ran away without any forms of communication. He was missing in the city for 4 hours, and after police reports, no one could find him. He later returned to my uncle's restaurant, scared out of his mind, thinking he was being followed. He hallucinated that people were trying to murder him. Schizophrenia is a disability in which people have abnormal fits of social behavior. In serious cases, hallucinations of image and sound will also occur. The disability is gained through family genetics or from massive stress levels. However, his family has no history of schizophrenia. My mom told me he was on a very strong medication that would reduce his images, but change how he was as a person. It was the hardest thing I have ever witnessed. I could tell something was off, but he still acted the same. If you met David before I left to college, he was the life of the party. He loved to chase squirrels, play board games, and run. He was loud and obnoxious in a good way. However, the David I met when I came back from college was totally changed. He was quiet and reserved. He didn't run much anymore and hadn't gone outside in quite a bit. The one thing that didn't change was that he still loved to encourage me to learn. Over the past few years of emailing, texting, and calling, David had never talked about how stressed out he was because he cared about me. I later learned from my aunt that he didn't want me to worry while I was in college. He sacrificed so much. My cousin David is the strongest and most selfless person I know. He has always wanted to help me without helping himself first. Because of him, he has inspired me to become more selfless than I am now. And in turn, lead to my decision to become a special education teacher. David, like John Nash, has a beautiful mind.